This summer, we saw anti-racism demonstrators take to the streets of the UK in a show of solidarity against anti-immigration riots. But the unrest was nothing new. 88 years ago, similar scenes played out on the streets of London, where anti-fascist protesters clashed with a far-right group in what came to be known as the Battle of Cable Street. Our entertainment reporter, Jason Mansouré, has been to see how the conflict is now being reimagined on the stage.
If the fascists come down my street, they're gonna wish they never came this far east. If Mosley's coming to my place, Oswald Mosley's gonna get a fist in his face.
Song and dance may not be the usual way to talk about the rise of fascism in 1930s England. But Cable Street tells the story of migrant communities joining together to stop the far right in London. And nearly 90 years later, those behind the play say it still resonates.
The writers started writing the show in 2019, and I think what they were aware of was that the world was tilting to the right, that actually far-right leaders were gaining power in countries all over the world.
You got just the back of that pass, isn't you?
The musical tells the story of the Battle of Cable Street in 1936, when, on October 4th, the British Union of Fascists, led by Nazi sympathiser Sir Oswald Mosley, tried to march through the predominantly Jewish part of East London. The violent group, also known as the Black Shirts, were met by tens of thousands of local people.
It's estimated anti-fascist counter-protesters in the hundreds of thousands came together right here and stopped the Black Shirts passing through to Cable Street. It is now widely considered a triumph over fascism.
And over 8 decades later, for some people, it appears history is repeating. These were the scenes as anti-racism protesters turned out in their thousands this summer in a show of support for those targeted by anti-immigration race riots.
My hope is, by being set in the present and the past, the piece will show an audience that actually this sort of activism, this sort of community action isn't something that belongs in a museum, it's something that belongs in the here and now.
This is my street, this is my street.
Concerns about migration, the economy and housing are today's issues just like in 1936. But for the Cable Street musical creators, there is hope that with some song and dance, audiences will be reminded they are better off standing together. Jason Mansouré, Sky News, London.